So have you guys ever wanted to know if Ireland Baldwin is a thoughtless little pig just like her mother, as Alec famously said on the voicemail? Well, you're about to find out on this recap of the Baldwins.
Sorry, I am.
There's a thing where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like almond milk, soy. Just a little play on the Spanish humor. This is the kind of joke that Hilaria loves. Vegan, yeah, and also she's always talking about like, I love humor and like I'm always finding sources of humor, and humor's so important. She talks so much about humor, has never made a joke, not on the show, in real life.
So important to me when people describe humor to you.
Yes, yeah, humor
and why
is so
it's important to them.
It's like, are you accepting the Mark Twain Award? Like, why are you being so serious about humor?
The Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award is more up her alley.
Right. So this week's episode was called, speaking of humor, this is hard for me to even say.
Humor spelled O-U-R.
This
O-U-R humorous.
Did not put me in a good humor. O-U-R. It was called Glengarry Glen Floss.
Okay. Because do you know what Glengarry Glen...
What are we doing here?
Does anybody here? Okay, because I wanted to be on the record who made Jack Lemmon references talking about this show.
Yeah. So actually, you should. So because we ask so much of you guys, it would be helpful just like in your, offsite, like in your studies, to understand us better, if you would watch the original 12 Angry Men, the Tuesdays with Maury, made for TV movie with Hank Azaria and Jack Lemmon from 2001.
My favorite.
And Glengarry Glen Ross. Glengarry Glen Ross is actually so yeah, there's two main stories this episode. The A story is Hilaria takes the kids to the dentist and then meets up with Ireland. And then the B story is Alec still has Hollywood friends. He still has friends. He even says this out loud. He's like, I want to prove to you I have friends.
Yeah, he has friends. Dan, who makes documentaries. We never learned Dan's last name. And then there's another guy,
Brendan, the artist.
Brendan, and then there's a jump scare, but we'll get in.
So Alec rolls in beginning of the episode with the kids in the car, and then we get, this is a big one for Pepina's, the first appearance of Hilaria's uniform, her black shiny like spandex cinching leggings that like the real Pepinos know. She wears like pretty much every day. I'm surprised she's held off on them for this long.
Yeah, and she's got all the right stuff in the right places.
Oh yeah, it's very like, it's like a butt cincher. Like I would mind to wear.
Yeah, it's like a corset for your ass.
Yes, it's totally an ass
corset. I need that. I need that. Which I guess they have in they call it Spanx, but it's not spanking me, right?
Yeah, and I don't like how they're so tight and then you got to pee through the hole. I don't have that kind of aim anymore.
What are you talking about, Lauren?
Spanx have the hole in the crotch so you can pee through because they're so tight to take on and off that you pee through the Spanx hole.
Oh, the actual I thought you were talking about leg. Okay.
No, you don't
pee in your leggings?
You don't pee through the hole in your leggings that have developed from overuse over time. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have a hole.
So then Hilaria explains to us, Alec and I are rarely alone together, which it's like, but you've been almost alone together exclusively throughout the course of this show.
10 years.
Like, we didn't get that impression, but I think this is setting up for like, and that's why he won't be meeting with Ireland later. So a little foreshadowing. And so he pulls up with the kids, and one of the kids is like crying because she's like, Daddy made me sad. I don't like him. He's being Nilo and
Stitch.
And we never really get to the bottom of why
Nilo.
Alec, and like, this is, I think, trying to like show, it's like that Alec is like, they don't like Alec, but it does actually seem like a nice playful relationship where they're like, what do you think of when you think of Daddy? And they're like, poo-poo worms, you're Nilo. I think it's like he just like I think it's like he teases them. I kind of think that they like him overall, like that he like, that's the way he plays, is like And that's the way he is with all relationships, is kind of being an antagonistic asshole. But that's how he shows love.
I think he quotes Glenn Ross to them. And they're
Yeah.
like, Nilo?
Nilo?
Can we watch Nilo and Stitch? And he's like, no.
No.
Listen to this about a salesman.
Third place is you're fired. And then Alec is like, what I've learned about parenting is that actually people have told me that kids melting down is better than them like holding it all inside. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
No, but it's so good.
You had to learn that?
It's such an important lesson to learn at 65.
Right. He's finally learning the
realizing,
ABCs of parenting.
Yeah, when they're 3 years old, just let them have it.
It's okay for a 3-year-old to cry. These are like the gems of wisdom. This is why he needed to do it again 7 times. He's finally catching on. Like, yeah, kids cry.
Those clues. Clues.
And so then we learn from Hilaria that she loves having a full house like I did
but
growing
even
up.
a fuller house. And it's like, babe,
I'm like,
we all do.
But wait, she didn't have a full house. Did she mean she watched Full House growing up and now she likes watching Fuller House? Like, I'm like, she has one brother.
We all love DJ. We all love DJ.
We all love DJ.
We all love DJ.
Actually, not anymore.
No, we don't love Candace Cameron Bure.
Yeah, we love Stephanie.
All do love DJ.
We love Michele smoking.
We love that Stephanie had like an actual meth addiction.
And just doing great now.
And she's doing great now.
I'm so proud of her.
And you know what? I'm glad that Candace Cameron Bure has aged out of Hollywood.
Yeah. And just is doing a reign of terror on Hallmark right now. Anyway, so our DJ and Stephanie are writer Brendan and documentarian Dan. Sorry, I said he was an artist before. And then Alec, literally says to camera, I want to prove I have friends who are adult men who are successful. I was like, this is like the most honest thing that anyone has said this entire show.
Right.
Because the show is just about proving things to the audience. So then they tell the love story, and we get a little whimsy from the editors.
Yeah, and it's not the movie Love Story, famously the famous Love Story.
No,
Allie.
No, but they do kind of like a kind of a
in the picture.
Like a 1920s crackling music, like the very cheap, like kind of graphic of like, I'm like, okay, the editors are having fun with it. And they're like, the love story piano.
Nobody else is having fun with it though.
No. So then, obviously, we've told this story. They tell it so much, but, and so of course it had to make the show. They
Alec assaulted Hilaria.
Yeah, well, Alec was there at the vegan place, or the raw food place, where he used to try to score with the lady whose boyfriend pretended to talk to angels, and he was there with Brendan. And then Hilaria's friend hit her, we learn. And then Hilaria said, that's Alec Baldwin. And Hilaria knew from watching Working Girl, but she's like, not because I watch Working Girl. Yaya, your Yaya made me watch Working Girl.
All of his oeuvre.
Yeah. Well, a Working Girl is like, that's like one of my favorite movies. And I'll say it. It's not because of Yaya. You can be, I don't think it ages you. It's a fabulous film.
He was in 30 Rock at the time. Like, it was on television at the time. So you think that you'd be like, because he's on TV right now.
Yeah, but that it's like, that's something that she knew that he would like, that she appreciated like his like 80s film work.
I bet that she's never seen it.
Working Girl?
I don't think she's
You think Yaya didn't love Working Girl?
I don't think Hilaria's ever watched TV.
Yeah,
I've never seen a TV in their home, actually. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's true.
You've never seen the kids just like watching cartoons.
No, it's always iPad. Yeah.
They're always, like you've seen them in high chairs on an iPad eating vegan food.
That is weird.
You think they have TVs everywhere?
It's not a home theater situation.
I haven't seen it. And we did a tour. We had the Cribs tour last week. When we saw literal cribs, but we didn't see a TV.
Yeah, but so then Hilaria said that Alec asked, where are you from? And she said, and I said Boston. I was like, no, you didn't.
No, you're not.
And Alec said, no, you are not. And then Hilaria said, yeah, I am. And she's like, that's an omen of what's to come. And I think she meant them bickering, but I'm like,
we love a soothsayer.
It's an omen of what's to come in that. That's going to be everyone's conversation about you.
And that's how he comes. That's how Alec learns to come, is you're not really from around here, are you?
Yeah.
She's exotic.
Yes, she put on the Salma Hayek from she was already
Boston,
doing it. They
not
really found
exotic,
each other.
but-
Yeah. He was looking for, his Latina Lucy Ricardo, and he found her. And then Hilaria talks about, I was so insecure because I'm so young. I was so little and young.
I was a little
young.
baby.
It was so crazy that he paid the check because I'm used to
Daddy.
splitting. I was so insecure because I was so young. I never forget I'm young.
I'm a baby girl.
Then Hilaria also says, but he always asked consent to kiss me.
Alec we find out this was actually very interesting to me. Maybe the only interesting part of this whole episode. He's very into consent. That's what she said.
An early adopter of consent in 2012.
Yeah, he was an early adopter of consent, 2012. So thank you, Hilaria, for teaching us when a consent was born. And then also, this was so insane to me. Okay, the editing on this show, this episode. She says Alec is very into consent, and then they're doing like a montage of pictures of their relationship. And the first picture they show is him standing on a bed, and she's doing a handstand, and her crotch is in his face.
Yeah.
Saying in the background he's very into consent.
Yeah. That was like all of their, they couldn't find one where she wasn't doing yoga.
There were only pictures of her with like doing yoga with like crotch in his face, and his face is just like, that's my girl. Hi, Lucy.
She's so crazy.
She's so crazy.
My God, you're so crazy. My yoga wife.
Honey, I'm home.
Then we also talked about how Hilaria had never dated an actor, but she dated a future actor, Eduardo Ramos, who they don't say his name, but it's like we know who it is because your kid is named after him.
And we've seen his penis, and he's done Broadway, but not an actor.
Yes, but apparently Alec talks about how big this guy's dong is, and it feels a little bit like a microaggression to me.
Talking about baseball bats in his pants, like it went on for a while.
A long time. But that's like Alec. Alec thinks he's this is why he really likes the show, is he's like, now people get to see how funny I am.
They get to just see how funny I am.
So funny.
But every good comedian knows editing is so important.
So key. Yeah.
That's why Lauren and I, not great comedians.
Not great comedians. We talk too much.
Too much about Jack Lemmon.
So Alec is also so proud that his kids were born in New York.
All of his kids. He says
all of his kids. And Hilaria's like, except Ireland. And Alec's like, well,
born.
Alec's like, she was born in LA, so that's like the same thing.
He says that LA and New York are basically the same thing, except he couldn't stay in LA and live near his ex-wife and first child.
Right, which we get into a little more later. And then we see all the kids going to the dentist appointment. And
they have to go to the dentist, which like historically no child likes. Actually, I don't think anybody loves going to the dentist. Like every 6 months, you're probably like, God damn it, I got to go to the dentist. No. You know what the dentist is like? The dentist is like, because it's
like the dentist.
The dentist is like the dentist, but the dentist is also like when you take your car to get an oil change, you think you're just getting an oil change, and they're like, actually, we gotta rework everything.
Bitch, this is what I always say about dentists. You have to find one you trust, like a mechanic. Otherwise, they will upsell the shit out of you and make you get a whole new mouth.
A whole new mouth. And they're like, if you don't get a whole new mouth, then you're going to have heart disease in like 48 seconds. And you're like, okay. And you know what else sucks about the dentist and also the mechanic? Neither are covered, or they're not really covered by insurance.
Yeah.
You get two free cleanings. That's it.
Always get a second opinion and never let them talk you into a Klarna plan. I learned both of those things the hard way.
You got a Klarna?
Yeah, they go to the dentist. There's a clown. It's like chaotic. I feel like I was telling Michele, I'm like, this is so random that I feel like there has to be like a rumor about them that their kids don't have teeth or their kids have bad teeth or something. I'm like, this feels like it's addressing something, but I'm honestly, kind of left out of it.
Maybe she just saw that like someone posted a picture of the baby or all of her kids as babies, and like babies don't have teeth. And she was like,
No. You're about to see
watch.
You're about to see every single one of their teeth.
Fucking tooth.
But no x-rays. You're gonna have to pay extra for that. None of them got x-rays, which I thought was weird too.
The x-rays do suck. Like, you really have to just like, taking a kid to get in. I mean, because you can't really, like, explaining it to a 1-year-old, like, they're gonna put a thing in your mouth and it's probably gonna be a little uncomfortable. But then you're not even done. Then you have to lay down for a stranger.
Yeah.
In bright lights.
We need to go back to Ether at the dentist.
I want to be put under the second I walk in, and then I'll pay for anything.
Most of this is like edited to make them look really good. Just, they just look so bad. It still looks bad. But this kind of was, I feel like, a little bit on the parenting, where the dentist is talking to Rafa, and he's like, sorry, my teeth are so yellow, and your dentist is like, your teeth are fine, and then it cuts to Carmen, and Carmen's like, Rafe went through a phase where he didn't brush his teeth, and now once a week I scrub them, I fluoride scrub them, and I charcoal to turns them purple, but they're still so yellow, and I'm like, y'all, Carmen is an almond mom. Carmen is a mean mommy. Like, she's being a little too hard on these boys. Okay?
We learned Carmen is what, 10?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's tooth-shaming her brothers.
She's tooth-shaming her brothers.
When Carmen is the one who actually has plaque. So she did learn a lesson about parenting that day.
And so they're at Mint Dentistry.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like, it has to have been something like Mint, which is like basically like a rip-off mechanic.
Which is, by the way, where I got my botched wisdom teeth surgery.
Oh,
they
God,
looked at me and they were like,
Mint.
you're carrying a little bit too much weight. Watch this.
Yep, they're all about sexy
smile.
Teeth is their
when they
thing.
tell you that they're literally sexy teeth.
Choosing of mints, I feel like it's suspect to me.
They were like, it's fine. There's no closed doors, and we're gonna perform major surgery. And I was like, where do I sign
up?
I'm listening.
It's also prohibitively expensive, but there's one on every corner.
And how?
Also, all the kids are cursing like fucking crazy this whole time.
The whole time.
I'm pretty sure one of them says cunt.
Oh my God. We don't even know what they're saying because for a good 10 minutes,
like,
there's
bleep,
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 bleep, bleep, bleep, bleep. And I was like, is that Spanish for something?
Yeah.
Actually, probably the editors thought they were saying curse words, but they were just saying like, hola.
Speaking of which, we see the crew for the first time in this. Holy shit.
Breaking the fourth
they
wall.
Are fucking hot as shit. Like, oh my God. The camera
hunks.
guy, the light guy, they're all hunks.
We
like,
love a hunk. We don't love
if
a
anybody
hunk.
on the crew wants to get
anybody wants
by
to
us.
fuck me, I'm tired, but whatever.
Yeah. So then Hilaria's like, Alec's probably, back at home doing his OCD.
Yeah, doing his OCD, putting things back where they belong.
And we see the B-roll footage of like him like cleaning shit out of the yard, and he's like, I don't enjoy doing this.
Yeah, no, he's literally like, he has a pool skimmer and he's just like getting the leaves out of the pool, and she's like, oh yeah, that Alec, he's probably just back home like tending to his mental illness.
You're not like, like a chair's knocked over, and he like puts it back up and the cushion on. He's like,
and she's
so
like, why
crazy.
don't you get help?
And then speaking of darkness, intensity.
Yeah, there's
I have
a
written here,
energy from the north.
Yes,
What is it?
It's Canada's favorite,
Canada's own
favorite inspiration for Valerie Cherish on the comeback,
and
Caroline
everybody's
Ray.
who she was also for a while the host of one of the world's most problematic reality shows, The Biggest Loser, and now she's on the second most problematic reality TV show,
the second biggest loser, Alec Baldwin. So Caroline Ray comes in. I will say she looks great, I think, for like
it was a jump scare. She is dressed like a watermelon.
She's dressed like a watermelon, and also like what does Alec Baldwin?
Alec's Hollywood friends are.
Why is he friends with every 60-year-old female comedian of the 90s? Like Kathy Griffin has been promoting his show too. I'm like, what is going on? Is it just because like they were they're Democrats? I don't understand. Like,
Can Caroline Ray vote in the U.S.? Is she an American citizen, or is she still Canadian?
No, I think she's still Canadian. She still does Canadian TV a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she may have dual citizenship, I guess.
Okay.
Why are we talking so much about this? Wait, did you know that the comeback Valerie Cherish is based on Caroline Ray? And that's why she does that voice.
I don't need to see that.
I don't need to see that.
By the way, if you've never seen that show, it actually is something you do need to see that.
You gotta see that.
The funniest show.
Right.
That
After you find Tuesdays with Maury on VHS somewhere, then watch the comeback on Max.
After Lisa Kudrow's best work. It's not Friends.
It's like one of the greatest shows of all time.
And it's perfect amount of seasons.
So then we learned that Caroline, like Valerie, is a great friend. She called and texted Alec and Hilaria regularly during the Rust trial. And we learned from Hilaria that Caroline and Alec together is comedy magic.
Magic. And because you know what? Because she has the pulse on what is humor. She loves
humor. Is very important.
It's very important.
She's a student of humor.
House. She needs a full house and fuller house full of humor.
The more house, the more humor is what I always say.
Yeah, exactly. And when Alec and Caroline Ray are sitting at a table, each eating their own tub of dips.
Yes, personal dips.
They each have personal dips in pint containers.
Laughing so hard. No one is making jokes. Just
They're
laughing.
Doing inside jokes for like a friendship which has apparently gone on for decades. Nothing is making sense.
They play a game where it's like it's kind of based on Karnak, Johnny Carson, Great Karnak, where Alec Baldwin drops a napkin. He's got a napkin over his head, and then he kind of drops it, and he's like a rope, a pope, and a skunk, and then they're
my God.
It's so funny to just say the punchline.
The punchline first. That's different.
Which, by the way, is literally a 30 Rock joke. How they made fun of like how unfunny Jack Donaghy is, that he ruins the writer's room by writing the punchlines first. So even his bad material is not his material. This guy, I cannot
to do
with this guy.
Reference while talking about Jack Lemmon the whole time. This is wild.
Honestly,
move. Why doesn't anybody listen to our show?
This is Alec bringing it out in us, because it's like his boomer ass sense of comedy really lines up with our references.
You know what? I don't care.
We should be his ideal audience.
Yeah, I know.
And then Caroline Ray is like, honestly, here's what I was thinking when I saw them together. They would be a great couple if he wasn't such a misogynist piece of shit.
He doesn't like women her size.
No, or age.
Her age.
Or any of that. But I'm like, but if he wasn't so fucked up, that would be a good.
Do you notice he still never says Kim Basinger? He always says
her mother.
Her mother. Mother. Is there something where their mother, which is,
and he also only calls Ireland Baldwin.
Mm-hmm. Because he has to remember she's my child. By saying like the last name, he remembers like, oh yeah, I have another kid.
Yeah, and also he's like, I fought hard for that in court. Ireland Baldwin. I
flew to LA 18 times a year.
That is insane. Yeah, he claims he went back and forth from LA to New York 18 times a year and bought a house next to Ireland and
that didn't go well. But we also learned that LA is basically New York.
They're only the same thing.
They're the same place.
Ireland and Hilaria's kids apparently met up, not on camera, footage not found. Ireland has a baby that's 9 months, and
basically twins.
Basically
Irish
twins. Yeah. Oh yeah, they are, so to speak, with different moms. So just Irish people,
different moms.
She's again talks about how they have such a unique relationship because they're basically the same age.
Same age.
We find tremendous humor in that. We find so much humor in
she
that.
Was 35 when I met her, so she didn't need another mom.
Yeah, it's like, no shit.
But it is funny when she's like meets Ireland's daughter.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, the play date we don't see.
I'm your grandma.
Yeah, and like Ireland's baby. She's like clearly teething on this big
she's
hunk
eating
of cardboard.
Yeah,
I'm
she's like
and they're like, what is she doing?
Yeah, they're at a lunch, zero food amongst any of them.
No.
And Hilaria's like, she really likes that. You like that, don't you, baby?
And the baby is like, I'm ripping hunks out of paper and spitting
it at people. And Ireland's just like, That's her favorite thing. But you know that Ireland's just like been trying to train her to do that.
Yeah, I
Spit
mean,
cardboard at Hilaria.
I will say Ireland, I was kind of blown away by how normal she was, and her like
So.
cute, dorky, normal husband who's just like smiling.
Yeah,
Like I was like,
and Alex like
in basketball shorts. I was like,
yeah,
I love them.
yeah, and Alex like she married a great guy. She lives in Oregon. She's a good kid. It's like that's all you have to say about your daughter and your grandchild.
Right. Alec is notably absent from this, which
but they FaceTime sometimes.
They FaceTime him, but it's like honestly, like I clearly know what you guys are trying to do is like Alec is a good dad and we're all good and we're a family. But if Alec wasn't going to be there, this makes it worse. That like Alec cannot be in the same room with her.
It was very weird to me that Alec or it should, or if it wasn't just Alec, Ireland, and her husband, like Alec should have been there in some capacity, just because of like the publicity of them, like him being an asshole.
Yeah, but I think it's like
I think she hates him.
Well, honestly, I think she's done a lot of work. Like I think the fact that she even did this for him, I think she knows that she doesn't owe him that or anything, but she still like did it. I mean, hopefully maybe he bribed her or something. I hope she got something out of it, but she really showed up and like, you know, and even though Hilaria is like so like trying to be like, I remember when I went to your volleyball game because your dad was such an active father and you were so good at volleyball.
Yeah,
and
she's like,
she's
when
like,
I was in high school.
she was like, oh, I mean, yeah, I was okay, you know. And she's like, and she was like, and I remember that like he got in this big fight with the ref and he got kicked out of the game,
permanently banned from the
school
that he definitely pays for.
Yeah. And then but then I was like, but honestly, like that ref at that game was an asshole. She's like, so that was like one of the few times that I actually was like, it's all right that you, and like trails off, but like exploded abusively at a stranger in public.
Yeah. She's like, probably like, this has happened so many times and I don't go to that school anymore and I don't play volleyball. So I've moved past it, Hilaria, but it was like, was that the last time you saw her? Ireland?
Yes. And then Hilaria's like, see, every time he might get mad, but it's because he's always right.
He's just doing normal Ray monologues wherever he goes on behalf of his daughter.
Right. Yeah. And then it's like, yeah, when the FaceTime is like, awkward.
Well, even when he's with Caroline Ray, she's like, and you're a grandfather now. Your grandchild is so wonderful. What's that like? And he's like, so cute. Yeah. She's a great kid.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't be more indifferent.
He's like, yeah, my grandkid. She looks like my other kids. That's like all he's said about her. It's like, yeah, she could blend right in. They all look alike.
That's a good thing to say.
It's so strange what Hilaria says, where she's like, I told Alec when we first met, if Ireland doesn't like me, I'm not staying. I'm not the wicked stepmother. I have too much respect for your family. I'm like, well, that makes one of you. Like, you're gonna leave him if she doesn't like. I'm sure. Like, first of all, I'm sure she didn't like you at first. Like, but it's like, if she says that we break up, then we do. It's like, what is this?
It's all up to this really. Yeah, this is all up to this kid who's really good at volleyball. She makes my relationship decisions.
Right. It's just they're just like such like deeply strange people, and I do think Ireland, she seems like overall like all things considered kind of a normal person. Yeah. So I was like,
she definitely got paid to do this.
Oh, 100%. I hope so.
Yeah, she should.
So then back to old Caroline and Alec, the magic duo. Caroline is like Alec is not doing good acting in these scenes either, I've got to say. But Caroline is, especially rusty. It's been a long time since Sabrina. She's like,
listen, they couldn't have a vaudeville act today.
Yeah.
These two. Hell no. These are not a dynamic. Think about who you think is a dynamic duo is, and then think of the exact opposite. That's these two.
Yeah. Caroline Ray's like, so, casually, what's your next acting move? In like a way that's clearly been told and choreographed to her by Alec and the director. And Alec goes, and even he is like not doing. It bumps me out when he doesn't sell his story to me, because he is a good actor. So it's like when he goes, I don't know if I'm gonna go back to acting. I'm like, no, this is, honey, you've been nominated for an Olivier Award, okay? I expect a little more from you.
We need more from you.
And so then he gives us some more classic this is when he really can deliver, is on his stories. He talks about he cried when Tony Hopkins got cast in The Edge. That was the best experience of my life acting with him. Better than your 8 children being born,
Or
your
better than
beautiful Spanish wedding.
the experience of acting with Sean Connery, the literal only time we've seen you show emotion on this show.
Yes, when you did an impression of him and made yourself cry because your impression was so good.
He was so good.
And then even like while he was telling the story of like, you know, his sister flying into me, I'm very curious about his relationship with his sister.
I know,
I
she
very
claims.
much want to know more.
Yeah.
Anyway, that Caroline's like, even she's like, and you know, I've heard these stories so many times, but I never get tired of them.
Oh my God,
Really?
yes. Because we do get a cut to them going on a date to the beach
Yes.
they're in Montauk. And Hilaria tells us many times that Alec told her, "You're my girlfriend." Even when they were married, even when they had kids, you still have to date your wife, which is an important thing to do. But then on the date, she proceeds to tell us that he teaches her and tries to impart so much history about where they are and show her maps of different islands that he just draws with a stick on in the sand. And she's like, "I've never understood a single thing that he's talking about." And then in his confessional, he says, like, "I've never known the depths of her tuning me out."
Now that's marriage.
That's so Raven.
That's so Raven. What I also liked is like, you know, it's like this is the typical date for them, and like 50% of it, the part that she is checked in for, is them planning his imminent death. Like,
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do with my ashes?
Yeah, she's like,
who's
"You want to
gonna
spread
get
him
the
here?"
house in Colorado?
Yeah, she can't even remember like what island his favorite in the Hamptons, and she's like, "Whatever, I'm just gonna wear booty shorts and a tight top, and you can just talk about history."
Yeah, it's very like it's very all right, this is the date scene. So it's like this is about, you know, this is the one where we're not fighting and you like wanna fuck me. And then maybe like a little humor at the end. And so you know, to keep it light, they you know, he cleans up trash off the beach.
Yeah,
Normal. He
she's
talks
like,
about
"Oh,
his
you're
death.
so gross. You're so gross."
It is weird that he doesn't have a bag or anything and he's just holding it in his
Yeah,
hands.
because he does pick up like a hair tie, and Ilaria's like, "That's disgusting. Like, it's full of hair. Like, people who do that wear gloves." And she's right. Like, if you're gonna go clean up the beach, like you should, because you could get like needles and stuff. Like, you should be like,
right. Or like you use the stick or
Yeah.
something, or you have a bag to put it in. I was just holding. Well, next time on, this was like a you know, an interesting one.
We were soaring too high. We were too close to the sun in episode 4.
We didn't reach the dizzying heights of episode
because
4.
we needed
but
4.
We had a lot of fun surprises and scary surprises like Caroline Ray. And next episode, I think, is just about how their dogs piss and shit everywhere.
Yeah.
That is one where I'm like, okay, I don't know what you're thinking for any of this, but I really don't know what you were thinking there. It's like, you know, your kids saying fuck, people can, you know, judge you or whatever. People aren't going to care that much. You not training your dogs, and like neglecting them. People are going to come to your house and like steal them away in the night. Yeah.
But
people are going to bomb your car if they see you be mean to a dog.
We're not saying do that, but we do find out in the preview that Ilaria's like, "Listen, we've been really busy this year. We've had a lot of other stuff going on. We haven't had time to train the dog."
It's so crazy. Like to invite a reality TV camera into your home and not like, and be like, "Yes, watch him piss and shit everywhere. See if I care." But Bronwyn did it too on SLC. I'm like, that would be so embarrassing. Like, but some people are like, "Yeah, they piss and shit everywhere."
They're just like us, stars.
Cares?
They're just like us.
Just like us. All right. We love you guys. We'll give you episode 6 next week. And also, so we were thinking, we've been kind of like, you know, once this is over, sadly, we've been blue skying. I taught Michele about blue skying. And we're thinking maybe Bethany Ever After, Bethany getting married. That might be a fun series to recap each episode because Bethany is, you know.
She's always doing something. She's always
That is a really terrible couple too. That is like an almost equally disastrous couple to the
I've been
Baldwins.
wanting to wrap Lauren into my nightmare for so long. And many have been like, "You really have," but I don't think we've we've really gotten there yet.
No. Yeah. I am kind of scared to do it with you because I know like that when
My
I
dark
to try to
passenger.
comfort me, when I was going through a, death in the family, Michele had me watch the shipwreck episode of Bethany Ever After, and I was heaving sobs while Michele is like on another zen plane of bliss. So I think it'll be fun to go through together, and that will be that like the shipwreck. That will be relationship building for us.
You know what? It could always be worse. You could be lost at sea with your soon-to-be ex-husband. Well, not soon-to-be, but
Yeah,
yeah.
you could be on trial for
Right.
Right.
For
Rest.
rust.
For rest.
For
All right.
rust.
We love you guys. Let us know about Bethany or after. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have a
Who gives a
love
shit?
you. Mwah.
Love ya.
Bye.